This is my last interior wall with issues. Still need to run these two white pipes through the wall. They feed water to the sink. That's not so hard. I need to pull water from the through hole, which is right below here, up to the commode, which is right there. That's not hard, except the through hole diameter and the intake for the commode is two different diameters, so I'll have to work that out. You still need to run the drain, the discharge from the commode under the vanity to a Y valve, and then one of those goes overboard for when we're 4 miles offshore. One of them will come back under the floor to the holding tank, which is right here. And I would still like to run a hose from a possible future pump here, again, under the floor, behind the vanity, to a through hole, in case a pump out pump is ever wanted to be put in. This is pretty much my only chance to run the piping. Also, I have a conduit here for 12 volts to come from the engine room to feed the commode. They originally had two very heavy cables. I'm sure the commode draws a few amps. I'll try to reuse those two cables and fish them through this conduit, and hopefully I can get them to reach into the engine room where I can deal with them later. But I need to get them in the wall and hooked up for now. The electrical, it's all good. Electrical's hooked up, no problem. Yeah, I've got the two water lines pointed under the vanity. Got the two-way valve screwed where I think it'll work, and I have the first piece of discharge hose. It's an old piece. I'm going to get some new stuff when I get all this figured out. Then I was drilling for the hose that goes from the toilet to the holding tank, or will go, and I did a very bad thing. I drilled through the water line, which is under the floor. The only access right now is this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach under there and get to that pipe and fix it. I'm going to have to cut up a piece of floor. But it's okay. We don't have the finished floor down yet. I may just have to cut a piece of this problem out. Okay, I think I'm going to be able to fix it. I was able to reach through the hole, cut it, and get a clamp on it, and get a connector on one end. And this tool will reach in there and crimp it, but I need another hand because I need to reach under here and hold it up so we can get to that end. And then I can pull this end out, cut it, put a longer piece in because it's mangled up like 1.5 inches at the end, and then stick it back. I think I got lucky. I think I'm going to be able to fix this without cutting up the floor. Oh my goodness, I moved one of these old discharge pipes around in the boat, and it still had poop in it, and it still stinks to high heaven. Who would have guessed? It's been months. You would have think it would all been decomposed by now. Woo! It's terrible. My goal this week is to finish the bathroom, at least close up the walls. This is the outside wall, and I have left to do. There's two hoses that come from the commode to the holding tank, and one that will come from the macerator pump to a through hole fitting. They both come through this hole in the floor, and I don't have the hoses yet. They've been ordered. Otherwise, on the outside of this wall, I need some solid blocking to hold the TV. Always got to have TV. And I need to build a little box around this hole up in the upper right hand corner. That's going to be a little 12-volt panel in the bathroom, and I don't want it open to the studs. I don't want to be able to drop a screwdriver in there or something at a later date. I want it kind of boxed in. Got this receptacle in the bottom left hand corner is the original from the boat, and I've pulled 120 volts from it, and I'm going to have a receptacle for the TV here, and 120 volts goes around the corner to some light switches. And then the wires coming on the other side of that stud, that's a 12 volt, that's a number 6, a pair of number 6s coming from the back of the boat, and they will power up this little sub panel. And the reason the wires are so big is the commode draws 30 amps. So from there I will control the commode, the rear bilge pump, and the shower drain sump pump, and the macerator pump. So we'll have a little panel in the bathroom. Inside the bathroom, I just need to put my strips and my foam on the top half of this wall. The bottom half of this wall, I have a through hull to replace. It's a 2.5 inch through hull, and I don't have a clue what that was for. But I'm going to shim it down to a 1 inch, and that'll be the macerator discharge. The other one at the bottom is the commode discharge, and the one above it is the sink drain. And I know you have to have access around these things to get to the hose clamps, but this is a little ridiculous. They got half of the bathroom wall cut out. So I'll close those in a little bit, and what we're going to try to do is take this same fiberglass that came off the ceiling and at least do the bottom half of the walls in the bathroom. I think I have enough. The bottom half of the walls, so it'll be good and cleanable, and the top half of the walls will just be painted plywood. I have a 12-volt light over the little medicine cabinet on the wall, and we'll have a 120-volt light on each side here next to the mirrors. I'll have a receptacle on this wall and a switch. And the third box is just the back side of the switch that's on the outside of the wall. This is what is left of a fiberglass I-beam. I cut the top web off of it years ago for something I don't remember. But now I'm fixing to cut a circle out of it to use that to patch the hole in the bathroom where that big through hole was. I got to bring the hole down smaller. So here's my circle. It's fiberglass. It's good quality. It's very hard. I sanded the backside so the epoxy will stick, and I've sanded the inside of the boat where I'm going to put it so that it will also get a good seal. I mean a good stick. Good mechanical bond. So yesterday, from inside the boat, I glued this piece of fiberglass, and today I cut another plug of the same material and I bevel the edges, and I'm going to glue it on the outside. First I'm going to bevel this so it'll fit better, and I'll put it in there and epoxy it in, and then I'll be free to drill the hole the size I need in the location I need. this is my patch, all grinded smooth. This is the new through hole, and you can see why I needed a patch. The old hole was way too big. So at some point in time, somebody cut more out of the boat than I was comfortable with, so I have replaced some 1/2-inch plywood right here and some 2x to give it some strength. Now I've put a wedge across the bottom to even out the fiberglass pan, and I think if I just put 3/8 plywood on top of my wedge at the bottom and against the wall at the top, there'll be some part at the bottom unsupported, but I think it's going to be strong enough for my fiberglass sheet, and it will be it'll be sticking out the right amount to make the fiberglass sheet lay right. It will be sort of unsupported on this side, but this is behind the little vanity, so I think that's not going to be an issue. So I'm going to go with it. I'm going to cut to 3/8 and put it down, cut circles around where the through holes will have to have access, and put my fiberglass wainscot in here. So we've got the fiberglass bottom part covered with 3/8 plywood, and the upper part covered with the 1/4-inch paintable plywood all the way around. Got the old medicine cabinet reinstalled. It's not so bad. Getting ready to glue the first sheet of fiberglass on top of this side right here. This is the second piece that goes behind the vanity. Cut and fit. Took 3 tries, and I got it caulked, and I am ready to jam it into place. Alright, this dang little bathroom is almost finished. A lot of hours. I don't know why it took so long. It's a little bitty, but everything's a little crooked in there, so I don't know. So the shower compartment is completely finished, except for painting. I got a 2-piece crown in here because there was a pretty good gap at the top. And then the dry part of the bathroom was just a cove at the top, plywood walls, and we put fiberglass around the bottom, so it will be scrubbable. I've got some chair rail here. It looks funny, but it butts into the sink and it fits good. The vanity's in place and strong. All my through holes are ready. I'm waiting on my sanitation hose to come in, and we'll paint. And so it's all good. That's a 12-volt light up in the ceiling right now. We're in